This we call meeting order.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so sorry, Robert. Thanks for joining us. We'll call the meeting to order,
Perfect.
and we are all here.
Yes, everybody is present.
And I'll open the floor to public comment, if there is any.
Nobody's here.
Hearing none, we'll close the floor to public comment and go on to the Seawalk mural update.
All right, so I printed out pictures just as a reminder. You know, this was kind of the final thing that we came back to everyone with, council, CRA, everybody's happy, excited, due to delays in weather and scheduling and events. It's been pushed and pushed, but he will be here any minute.
Really?
So he is coming today. He will be here. He's gonna head over. He's got an Airbnb that's like less than a 10-minute walk from the site. And he is hoping to get started tomorrow, pending the weather. But I'm like, the good news
Is
is
he coming here to visit us?
he was gonna try to make it, but he said he didn't know if he'd get here that fast. So I'm like, okay, just get here. But I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna tell everybody you'll be on site Friday during the day, so be prepared. People are gonna wanna stop by and say hello. So he's very aware that people will be stopping in. He has got lifts being delivered at 9 tomorrow, so we'll be out there with him tomorrow. And actually, I shared Curtis Loftus's contact info with him. And so we're gonna make sure we're coordinated with deck of chairs, because we don't want to, you know, mess up that event. But we think honestly,
It should work out.
the timing worked out pretty nicely, because it'll be interesting to have people out seeing the deck of chair site, but then simultaneously seeing this massive mural going up. And so I'm excited, because I feel like it's gonna just drum up more attention.
It will.
So I'm really excited about that. I know at one point, not to put you on the spot, you had said that you could potentially help with disposal. Are you still able to do that? Awesome. And other than that, yeah, we, Parks and Rec is gonna give us a key to give to him to the building, so he'll have access to water, power, restroom, and he can store his paint cans in there.
We're in there, we'll be there every day, you know, setting up and the volunteers and donuts and coffee, and so we'll be able to take advantage of that as well. Even though he may like to have his own piece of, be quiet, like he may have at some point, I don't know exactly what.
No, I think that's
But
great.
he's gonna have people there, like tomorrow, the middle schools are gonna be over there doing their chairs, so they'll be all, they're all like middle school, 2 or 3 middle school groups of artists, kids are gonna be there.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. And all weekend, the volunteers will be putting all this stuff together, so.
We need to do an art picture next year.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I was just thinking about that earlier. I was like, I wonder if we can do that. I don't think it
But,
doesn't say we can't.
yeah, but we ain't, we're already talking about that, and I will be there tomorrow.
Okay. And from what I've heard, Curtis is
He's
totally
great.
cool. He's good with it. Yeah. So I'm excited. But yeah, so he is coming into town literally right now. He'll be here at any point here, and we'll get checked into his Airbnb, and we'll come see the site tonight. And then actually, when this meeting's over, I'm probably gonna walk over there and make sure there's nothing crazy. I meant to do that earlier in the day, earlier in the week, but it's been lovely weather all week.
It's supposed to break tomorrow.
Yes.
Mhm.
We'll see. It's unsettled.
So, and then it's not listed on here, but I guess it does technically fall into old business. I had a meeting with Jenny Hager and Lance Vickery of Havoc Studios, and they are fully on board with doing the sea turtle sculpture. They are super excited. I sent them over sort of what we kind of talked about, looked about, you know, themes, ideas, what we kind of, just a very general 30,000-foot view of what we were kind of thinking we would like to do. And they were gonna kind of work up a proposal and a plan and get that back to me. So I actually talked with them Tuesday, again, just kind of touch base. And so I expect here over the next week or two to have something from them that we can start working towards and getting that in place. And that was all I have for old business. Anybody else has any old business?
Yeah, I saw that the CRA discussed something about appropriating funds from facade to boardwalk. Is that from our budget?
It is not, and that has been a hot topic. So they actually ended up not moving those funds from that account.
No, on the Jacksonville Today, you know, there are blurbs.
Uh-huh.
So like,
Oh, I got a lot of calls about that. Yeah. So no, that's And that was the facade grant program, that
That's
wasn't this
different
one.
from this.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You are welcome. See, why can't everybody ask a question like that? They read something, they ask, they get the answer. It's so easy.
Right, well,
Culture
I have a
outreach.
question, which is kind of, I don't know, maybe Gonzalo might know better. I was wondering if they are actually gonna take the fence and stuff down in front of here. I know it's jacks and all that, but.
So that, yeah, so if you've been by recently, we put some signs up, they've got some QR codes on them. That is because we, about 2 months ago, said, take the fence down, started taking it down. That did not go over well. Got a slap on the wrist for that one. And PD said, no, there's no lighting. When they did the project, they took the lighting out, so you cannot take this fence down. It has to stay up until this project moves. So we're working right now with a contractor to price out that pier entryway project, that whole parking lot project. It is taking way longer than I could have ever anticipated.
People ask me because they know that.
Yeah, we're
So-
waiting on pricing.
Unfortunately, it's not, at this point, it's not gonna come down, because we're getting ready to roll into construction for the, I say pier entryway, it truly is, I kind of call it a facelift. It's not changing the intent, it's not changing the number of spaces, it's just an upgrade to what exists. And that dumpster enclosure that sits right there in that front corner, it's getting moved to the back. So it'll be a little more aesthetically pleasing, and then we're actually gonna commission a mural to go around that enclosure eventually, when we get to that point.
So through the chair, where are we at creating some kind of entranceway for the pier? We talked about Sally, maybe roping in Sally Industries or something like that to try and do something very creative like they've done at other piers.
I think it's almost gonna have to come to a workshop after the first of the year. I know honestly, trying to get anything scheduled this month and next month has been wild.
Come on.
But I think we can do it in a workshop-y setting where we kind of just come together and instead of having an agenda like this, that is the only topic, and we literally just bounce ideas around. That's what we've done in the past with CRA projects, that's what council does, when they've got big projects, that's what we do internally as staff. And so I think that would be the next step on that piece.
Would we reach out to Sally Industries prior to that, or to see if, because they're obviously the most qualified in North Florida in this area, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but, I mean, it's what they do all
Yeah,
over the
they're pretty
world.
cool. I've been to their studio
Yeah,
in
you
town.
mentioned that.
It's really cool. They have a giant dinosaur.
Right.
That scared me, but
I almost feel like
they have some really cool stuff in there.
They have very
Taylor and
cool.
I have kind of like bounced ideas around for how to approach that and any other projects we want to do because we already have this huge pool of artists that have already submitted their ideas for different, for sculpture and murals that we could potentially work with. So, I think that we could maybe bring to you guys some recommendations of, well, you already liked this group of artists, maybe some more from the top that you interviewed last time for sculpture and kind of see where that conversation goes and see if any of those kind of fit into what the vision for that entryway art is.
Yeah.
Since we've already kind of received all that information from them, we know a little bit about them. I don't know how, I thought Sally did mostly like animatronic stuff and like
Who says it can't be? I'm just
large,
kidding.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
kidding.
Just
kidding.
large, like
amusement rides.
movie stuff, movie props and amusement rides. So I don't know if their focus is on
Animatronic.
what we're thinking might be that. I mean, it's not ruling them out, but
I think,
yeah, I don't really
the
know.
gentleman used to live down the
That's
street
the
from me, and I believe that, at one point they were doing surface textures and the various things that they're involved with, I think they could become
Yeah.
applicable
Yeah.
to something, if they were interested.
Yeah,
That's the
we
thing,
have
if
to
they're
find
interested,
out.
but
I
we
think
Yeah.
it would,
potentially do something that could make the entrance pop
Yeah.
and outside the box of just a pure entrance, that could maybe
Sure.
be something that they actually have three-dimensional stuff and take it in a direction that we had not thought about yet. And that's all, if they're even interested, but
Yeah.
since we have that resource that I believe, if I'm correct, they also do things like entryways and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they do a
They
little more
do,
research.
definitely do that,
Yeah.
if we want to do dinosaurs, they definitely do big dinosaurs. They
Yeah.
definitely do that and rides, but I think they also do some of the support structures for those things.
I gotcha, okay.
So as we're kind of talking through this,
Yeah,
I think what might, so if you guys are good with this, then what we can do is, because I think even if we were to approach someone like that, we still need to kind of workshop this idea internally first to kind of get, yeah, just even if it's just a general idea of what we're looking for, style, theme. And so what I'll do, I'll kind of send some dates out for January, see when we can get a workshop in, maybe February, whatever works for everyone. And then at the workshop, what I'll do beforehand is, because there are going to be some parameters, some red tape, if you will, on what we can and can't do at that site because of its location, because of safety. You have to have so much access because emergency vehicles have to fit down the pier.
lighting.
So there's going to be, and so I'll get those elements together so then we can really kind of get a full comprehensive picture of what we're working with. And then we can workshop that topic and then reach out to various groups after that. If that works,
Sure.
everybody think that's a
Yes.
decent plan. Because that is something that I tend to get really excited about here at True Wave Sculpture piece, and then I'm like, ooh, but the turtle, ooh, but the fire marshal, ooh, but this, ooh, but that. I'm like, ugh, and then that piece is like, ooh.
Right.
I have to start scaling down, so,
Well, I did, again, through the chair, I did send you the Canal Pier.
Mhm.
Yes.
Entranceways and both the Canal Pier, even, I mean, that's, even as simple as that, it's still, it still commands a bit of attention when they use it, they call pilots.
Most of the time, simplicity is the most effective.
Yeah.
true,
You know, I
that is
mean,
true.
You know, and it's got welcome to the canal. Anyway, it's just kind of bright, cheery, and.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe there could, things like wave fishermen, surfer, all kinds of stuff could be incorporated into that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the pier.
They have some really crazy stuff. Sorry, I was just looking at something on their website. Yeah. Okay.
Well, like I said, people just ask me, do they know I'm involved? You know, where's the fence going out? I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, you can tell them, unfortunately, it's not.
You know, and it
the
really
whole
is.
parking lot put together before the game.
Our plan was when Spring Hill vacated that area for their lay down and storage area, that we would immediately take it over and start construction of the pier entryway. We did not know it would take almost a full year to get pricing.
Well,
It
they're
took
perfect.
us a long time to get through DEP permitting because of the
And
lights and the turtles. I mean, that took us months and months and months, as you said, so.
Literally 10 months.
We did not anticipate that that process would take so long and that the pricing would take so long and that we couldn't, literally can't find people to do the things. I
Right.
mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd be well under construction by now, and that's just not the way it happened. That's every project just about, so. It should be under construction, not just fenced off sitting there. This is why we put the banners up, so people at least can get a little bit more information, like, why is this still fenced off, you know? So, we're trying.
No doubt. It's just something I know we're going to be working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get there. Eventually.
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 So back to our Ernesto.
Yes.
What's his timeline? Was he expecting a week?
I think he was expecting 1 to 2. So he brought a team with him. It's himself and 2. He's got 2 apprentices that work with him. Maybe 2 or 3. But they'll be up here the whole time. They're gonna paint and work. You know, I kind of explained, like they're not gonna work at dark. They're gonna.
But
work in-
they'll paint through the holiday.
No, apparently. Yeah. I was like, are you painting on Thanksgiving? They're like, well, yeah, what else are we gonna do? I was like, celebrate it, like, okay.
you'd
Well,
be
it'll
surprised
be-
other
it'll
parts of
be
the
a great-
world, they don't do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be a great field trip for my family that's coming from around the country.
I mean, yeah, he's gonna be, you know, he'll have a good, you know, I'm sure there will be lots of paint on the wall by that point. So,
Yes, they will.
yeah, so I'm excited.
1 to 2 weeks, is that what you said? Okay.
So, yeah, it'll be really cool.
Well, we're gonna have to be all done by Wednesday night. Next Wednesday is Belgian night.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so it'll be great that that'll be finished shortly thereafter, and then really when Deck the Chairs is really picking up during December, that mural will be there, so it's good timing. Yeah.
Should we put together, like, I don't know, a little page with info on it and put like a little QR code
think so, they'll have a table like where people, when they're doing like the contest and the surveys, they have like an ambassador program, I think, like info desk.
Okay.
Or is any of this, or any of these images on the
They're on-
website?
yeah.
Or what have you?
Yeah, they're
Does
online.
that hero code kind of direct them to say, okay, what's this gonna be?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, you know, I can get with our communications manager.
He's gonna kill you.
She's
She's just
Can-
gonna
can
come
you-
up
can
with
you
more and more
use
stuff for him to do.
And it's always in this setting too, where it's like, hey, we just had this really good idea in a meeting. And it's like, oh, okay, great, when do you need it? And I'm like, 5 minutes ago. It's like,
But he does it, he's
seriously?
great.
I'm like, yeah, get it done. Come on. And well, he only does it because I don't leave his office till he does it. And he's like, just go away, here, leave.
It's effective.
But, you know, that's
It's
not.
okay.
Hey, it's technology, that stuff's fast.
But I
Get a button.
like that idea, to
Yeah.
find somewhere we could have a QR code where people, because people are gonna wonder.
Or even close to the site.
Right.
Maybe we can put something on the building,
That's what I'm
maybe
thinking.
with Trevor, so people don't get too close, but they can still find out some more information. So we'll do some recon on that.
I like that though,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
So
mean,
I,
part of me wants to say, keep them guessing, but we
Yeah,
also don't wanna ask the artist.
we don't want
whatever, I mean,
people to interfere too
Right.
much. I mean, he might like meeting folks, so we don't wanna discourage that necessarily, but.
Hopefully
it'll be
it's
fun.
a big part of that
alley,
picture.
but-
Gone.
That's what I was just gonna say, are they gonna block off that thoroughfare?
Yeah.
They probably will most of the day.
well,
Let them
up
work.
against like the building,
Yeah.
it will be.
Where the fence is there, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
walk the two ends during the day. And at night
There you
it's
go.
like- And when the deck and chair starts, if they're still working on it, they usually on the weekend they barricade first,
Yeah.
just on the weekend.
Through the chairs, will there be security guards?
At deck chairs maybe,
Yeah,
but
we
not
got
at the
deck.
site.
But not over by the mural?
No. There weren't any on the Cape mural. I mean, it.
They have,
It was next to the police station now.
right?
Yeah, but it's not always.
I was gonna say,
It's not-
people don't really know it's
the
a police
perfect time
building.
for them to do it
Yeah.
because they're patrolling and everything, because we're setting.
Is
up
that well
deck
lit at
and
night?
chairs. Yeah.
No.
We're setting up deck and chairs, so
Oh.
the
Yeah,
police
it's
are
pretty
out
well-
there.
Yeah.
There'll be
All the
people
stuff
out
is
there.
out there all over, there's people all over that place all day.
And remember, the downtown has a specific police program that has officers. We have 11 that are just for the downtown.
They have 30 cameras, have you been
yeah.
over there and
Yeah.
seen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there?
And we're upgrading, we're getting more.
There are cameras,
Yeah.
video cameras on the wall that take up.
They are in
I'm not sure
places.
exactly where it is.
Not allowed to say exactly.
Yeah, of course.
He
No,
knows
but
that it's
they do
this
it
is
a couple
going
steps, so
on.
if anybody would go by and do anything, any kind of vandalism, we can capture that.
Yeah, definitely.
I am just going to be cautiously optimistic that this will go as smoothly as the first one did.
Yep.
Because we were extremely fortunate with the first one. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, when I think there were no hiccups. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
he was great, the public was great, everything went smoothly. So we're gonna just cross our fingers and hope that this one goes as smooth.
Good.
Awesome.
If not, we'll learn something.
Hey,
Oh,
That's
it's
all we can
perfect. But, you know, whenever they told us over there that he was coming, I was like, well, he's got good timing, because there's people all over.
This
is good
We have our
timing.
own list
Yeah, it's great.
as well, you know.
yeah,
You might even have an extra list as soon as we get done with it.
yeah.
Okay. New business or items for discussion?
So items for discussion, the council and TRA have all unanimously approved awarding the contract to Xavier. So congrats, it's a really big feat. This is gonna be the biggest project that we've ever done up here. At this point in time, really, we just kind of wanted to talk through what that's gonna look like moving forward, because on projects like this that take so much kind of behind the scenes and legwork, it can look like there's nothing really going on and people start to wonder. So he really has a desire to actually, get up here and visit, and we're at the holidays. So is it realistic that he's gonna come up here in December? I don't know. And just kind of talking through, we have.
Depends on what that visit entails. Does that visit entail him just by himself walking around?
Yeah,
Or does it entail interaction with us or
Yeah.
with you or
it'll
both?
be interacting with us, with staff, with you guys, CRA and council. So which, this time of year is like the worst time of year to try to schedule thing also, you know, I know he had made a point that he wanted to meet with the city boards, but he also wanted to meet with the public, and we kind of talked internally, we talked with administration. And as far as facilitating a workshop, we think having a workshop where all the council, CRA, you guys, everyone workshops this idea with him is great. But as far as his public meeting, we think that it would probably be best that he hosts that, and it's not a city-hosted function. For various reasons, but it just makes a little more sense, and so we're happy to help him find a location, you know, advertise it, put everything out for the public to come and talk to him about it, but that'll be something that he's gonna have to sponsor, host. It won't be in here or at City Hall.
And that is for, sorry, bombarding the questions, but
That's
that
okay.
would be for what? Get him to get more ideas? I mean,
Yeah, I
he's got an ocean.
Kind of an
full
educational outreach, if
I
you will.
guess so, and I mean, even honestly, if it, you know, this is kind of up to you guys and what we take back to CRA and council. You know, he had made a really big, a comment that he likes to have this big initiative. He comes to town, he meets with the public to hear what they want, but sometimes that doesn't
What?
go so great.
Yeah,
correct.
And so, do we have him come up and just have a public workshop where, yes, the public can come and sit and hear, and everybody can listen and talk and hear how everyone interacts, but not necessarily bombard him with feedback?
Not look to change the whole operation.
Right, and that's my worry.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
just looking for
no.
feedback and input,
That's-
but doesn't mean everything's gonna change. I mean, that, I think.
I think there's a way, I mean, we do this, my company does this when we go to work on a community brand. And we're talking about the character of the place and the personality of the place and the history of the place and those types of things. You know, we'll ask questions like, when you think of Jacksonville Beach, what colors come to mind? And things like that. So it's not like, hey, what do you think this should be a sculpture of? You know, it's more sort of personality focused. And it's really valuable to the public to feel like they were a part of it. If you keep it general enough, they still can see their input in the final product and feel like, oh,
Yeah, and you
yeah, I
know,
said something,
to
or I
that
did
point,
something.
from
So-
what we know of, I don't know if it's Javier or Xavier. Honestly, I've run into both. But knowing him, he would have information to give to every single person who attended a meeting like that, that would basically, you know, say, this is the plan, this is what we're doing. And then that kind of lessens the space for people to say like, well, why don't we try this?
Right, yeah,
No,
I mean, you
this-
definitely have to
He'll have
position
it, you know, that's my impression of the guy. He's already given us more information than we could have asked for.
Yeah.
And if he's willing to open it to the public, he would likely have it down on, you know,
Yeah, I
written
mean,
in
I think
stone,
we should
and
ask
then,
him
you
what
know.
his plan is, but he's done it before, you know, and,
We're saying if they focused on one thing, or possibly even just the basic idea of maybe looking for a contractor to build a concrete. Like this is the art part, we're gonna do all this, we need to meet the guys that can build these monoliths and make sure they're gonna stand up, and we need a site guy, and, you know, part of the community involvement that's not change the color or design or,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great
so
point.
it's just to get down to the real basic part, well, we're gonna need a landscaper and a concrete guy and.
it makes people feel involved to a
Right.
certain degree.
I'm not gonna bring somebody from South Florida to pour concrete, you know.
yeah, I mean, anytime you open it up to the public, if you go a little sideways, there are people that are
Or
just,
a lot of signs.
that will just come to cause problems.
We know.
But, I mean, honestly, that's just part of it, you know?
And I'm
You
sure
have to know
he's
how to
done-
navigate it. Oh, I have no doubt if he's ever done a public workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure he has ideas on how he sees it playing out if he's done them before, so I think we need to get that from him. Like, what do
Yeah.
you envision,
He's,
how this is gonna go, what do you plan on presenting, and asking from the public so that we can properly support
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just slow down the
Provide some
process,
feedback.
slow down the
and he was the one
Yeah.
who even brought that up,
Right.
so
Yeah.
he's got the answers.
Yeah, that
You
was
know,
him driven.
He'll
Well,
have the
either way, yeah,
answers
we've
to
learned.
anything that may come up, yeah.
Yeah.
Through the chair, to be fair, we haven't decided on what direction we're going in. I mean, the monolith is not, if I remember the last meeting, we looked at the monolith, we looked at the metal cutouts, we looked at the sculpture, we looked at a potential large, rough kind of ancient seashell kind of thing. So we haven't decided what direction.
Wasn't his outline, on week 1 or month 1 to meet with
Correct.
us?
And
So,
that's what I thought.
that's when we
That's
can-
step one.
that's
Yeah.
where we'll,
Meet
I
with
didn't
you
think-
guys.
And I,
We
well, and
had
what he
decided.
provided in there, the monolithic structures were, that was the design. All the rest of that was his showing, you know, I can do these other things. I can
Cosmetics.
use materials. If you don't like the ceramic or porcelain, I can do metal. But as far as like the structure and the intent, I don't think the design intent would necessarily change. If maybe the specifics would change. But what council CRA took from this packet from him that was presented to them was this. And some version of that. These were just supporting, you know, showing other,
Textures.
I was confused because I thought that that he had such great examples of other things as well that we could incorporate. I felt like we left it where we were going to meet with him and maybe all discuss the direction we could potentially go in, and then present that back to council. I didn't know that we had decided on the monolith, but it seemed like he had so many, because we were all excited about, there was one piece that he had that looked like it had been around for 1,000,000 years or something.
oh, yeah, no, that was examples of his work, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought that there was, within the examples of his work, there were things that were potentially stronger than the monolith. And I would like to see us not married to the monolith. I would like to see him come up here. But I know that you've now presented this
Yeah.
to the council.
Yeah.
But then
did
again,
anybody,
that,
before you- was that?
those ruins were in like a jungle. They were in, but there's no jungle.
No, but it could.
I thought that we had options to actually what the surfaces and maybe
Agreed.
the
Surfaces
And
and
what was applied
design
under
and
that.
Yes.
decoration.
But the
No,
monolith,
but-
yeah, that's what
Yes.
I.
Or doing the
Okay.
in between.
Yes.
I guess maybe I was the one that
But
was.
maybe
kind of
different
not clear.
textures, and I think
Yes.
the idea that, like what you're speaking of, is maybe pieces that actually came over the edge or something.
Right, like the
Three-dimensional,
fish thing that like went
Correct.
through it.
But the actual supporting structure was gonna be this,
Yeah.
without an exact final design on the mosaics and.
I thought we had kind of left it open where the gentleman that, Chad's favorite applicant, that chose not to do anything with us unless he was paid, I thought there was also a potential to use that idea with this gentleman and say, well, this was one of the ideas too.
I think that would get us in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Big trouble.
Well, no, I mean, if we do a large seashell,
I think we
just
should.
for example, if we do a large seashell in his fabrication, his style, then we don't have any problem there. As far as the trademark, or anything like
On one of the monoliths.
that, and any kind of texture, again, you know, I thought and maybe it's just me, I thought we were still open-ended. on
Yeah.
this.
No, I think we agreed, or at least what I understood, this is me, what I understood was we agreed on the monolith, we didn't agree on what was on the monolith, or whether it was tile, whether it was
Right.
ceramic, whether it was what have you.
Yeah.
I think that's still
Yeah.
to be determined, but the monolith was approved by him.
Yep.
And there's.
And that's maybe what he's seeking ideas from us, from council, from
Right.
the public on, okay,
Starfish, birds, or whatever, it might be a net or a fish, or,
Like you said,
you know,
Yeah.
different. That I thought we still had options on.
We
but I
did.
thought we did have pretty much the idea of the size and
Yep.
the arrangement and the concrete with something on it. I thought we
Yes.
had decided on
okay. So I think we need to guide him does he see our meeting, what his meetings with us be? You know, are we presented with, here's options 1 through 5, and are we picking? Or are we leaving it free form? And I ask the group, what do you all want to see?
I'm sure when he meets with us, he's going to have his ideas.
All 87 of them, because we gave
Yeah, I
us
mean,
so far, it's
this
like,
guy is
here, I
going
can do
to-
anything.
yeah.
Right, but I'd like to see it narrowed down.
And you know, keeping it simple and effective is probably going to be the most efficient way for him to both design it, produce it, and fabricate it and install it, you know, but I think he is going to facilitate the direction in which, you know, once he meets us, I think, like I said, he's done this before, so I think he'll facilitate any desires, questions, directions we might have.
Right, he'll probably have,
Great, yeah.
he has the boxes that he needs to get checked, and he'll probably tell us, I need to know this or this.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm here, I think, you know, he shows the Starfish or something, we might be where we're, like, we want this.
And I will say that for whatever reason, we had a board member that was pretty anti-Starfish.
Yeah, I don't remember
Really?
exactly the conversation, but there was someone that wasn't a huge fan, but.
So we were like, well, that's not the end all be all. We should pick
Right.
something other than Starfish. And
Or
someone,
in addition to, like we did the
Yeah,
first year.
exactly,
Yeah.
someone threw out the
More than just
idea
that.
of having them be different sea life on each of the structures.
Yeah.
And that was pretty popular, right, among the agency.
Yeah,
I think that's, yeah, what I was
That's what he's gonna ask.
that's exactly what we're going to ask. you
Yeah.
know, Those same issues.
I think it might be helpful for Taylor and I, as staff, to get with him on what his vision of the process is going to be based on his experience doing this with other projects, and then present more details to you guys and start there. Because he might have something in his head that we don't even know yet, right? This is so new. And then
Right,
we'll
he
kind of
may
take it
have
as
some
we
idea
go.
of doing something here with the high school surroundings, or something, or JU, or
Yeah,
he may want to come here and try to look for those kind of connections.
Yeah, and that's information that we kind of need.
You can
Okay.
find out
Handle
that.
on it.
So, if you guys then, as the committee, are okay with, staff will talk to Xavier, we'll set up a call with him, kind of just gauge what he visualizes as his format and what kind of like content he wants to have in advance of the meeting, and what his takeaway from these meetings is, and sort of what timeline he's working on when he can realistically get here. And when we can get these scheduled, and then follow up with you guys here in the next couple of weeks via email, and just kind of give you a summary of what we discussed with him, what that looks like, what he's hoping for, and then kind of what those next steps are, because I feel like that kind of puts us in a little bit of limbo. But until we hear from him, we're kind of waiting.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
So-
make any assumptions.
Right.
On the process.
So, but if you guys are okay with that, we'll take that methodology, we'll talk with him and kind of get all the information we can together, and then present that to you guys. Hey, here's the plan, here's what he's looking for, here are some of the dates he's thinking of, and then we'll go from there as far as getting stuff set up.
so the last time you spoke with him was just simply letting him know.
Every
But
every
he was
time
awarded
somebody
the-
approved it, I'm like, okay, our committee, check.
Okay.
CRA, check, and then, okay, council, you're good, and I said, you know, I told him we were gonna talk today, and kind of talk about next steps and what that would look like, and then I would circle back, so.
Okay.
He knows I'm gonna be giving him a call this week.
So, no timeline was even like discussed in any manner?
Not, not really, and again, he's really busy right
Yeah,
now.
okay.
This time of year, I know he had said in a previous conversation that, early to mid-January, his schedule freed up.
Okay.
But he would obviously have to work around his lecture
Because
schedule.
he's a
He's a
professor.
professor. And so we'll have to be mindful of that, which I wrote down. I don't think I put it in this binder, but he gave me the schedule on when he's teaching and when he has office hours. But he also has, TA, so I'm sure he could be gone for a day if he needed to. But he seemed like first of the year, his schedule opened up a lot. So,
Just as well.
Yeah.
Trying to schedule anything before then is, yeah,
It's
out of the
challenging.
question.
um,
Yeah, and you really don't wanna move forward in times when people can't, particularly if there are people with strong feelings about starfish, and
yeah.
we need those voices involved.
Okay. But if you guys are comfortable, then we will have that conversation and we will get that information and start working on getting those meetings scheduled.
I mean, he has a pretty good layout on, design phase, 1 to 2 months,
Mhm.
installation phase,
Yeah.
Yeah, once we kind of get the green flag, and get started, we have an idea of how long it would take.
He characterizes it as discussing vision, themes, and objectives.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, now the final question. December 21st, tentatively, is our December meeting. Do we want to have a December meeting, or do we want to not have a December meeting? Unless something comes up that we need to have a meeting.
That's a good call. I mean,
We'd be gone.
why don't we see what you two feel like?
We're
Oh, you don't want to ask.
here, so it doesn't, you're not here.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm kidding. Mentally, I'm not. Physically, I'll be here.
I understand. Is there, is there
Next
more
month?
going on your end that might just be?
All the time.
Not really, I mean, you don't get a vote, but if
No.
I were gonna put up my 2 cents in, I'd say no meeting unless
Yeah.
Yes.
we've got something of urgency to discuss with you.
Agreed.
Which we give you ample
Nobody
notice
wants to
on.
waste your time a few days before Christmas.
I would.
Agreed.
Unless you guys just wanna get
That as
together
well.
and like have Christmas.
Other than that,
cookies or
we
something.
can like go to Oaxaca for that. We don't need to come here.
Yeah.
So,
Did somebody say champagne? I don't know. What was I thinking?
so if you guys then, it sounds like are all shaking your heads that you're fine with, unless there becomes a pressing matter, we're good with going ahead and the December meeting, and I'll let the clerk's office know, so we know this at ample time that we will not be meeting. And we
gotta
will,
read the 19th.
okay,
I don't think I come back to January 14th.
okay,
Good to know, okay.
okay.
Okay, in that regard, what is our finished timeline on Ernesto's piece? Like from right now, what finished timeline are we looking at?
So he's planning on really starting tomorrow, so essentially, probably that first weekend of December, the first, second, third.
Are we going to in any way meet as a group upon his completion before he flies away forever or what?
Possibly. So if we're gonna do something, because I think the CRA might want, and council might also want to be involved in some kind of like reveal, or, whatever,
Ribbon cutting.
viewing, whatever, we
Yeah.
have to publicly notice if we're inviting groups, people of the same group, which we can do, that's easy.
And it's recognition for him as
Yeah.
a world-renowned
Yeah,
artist.
so we kind of have to play that by ear when we have kind of a, I'm gonna
Okay.
be done by this date,
Okay,
then we can put something together, we can pull something together pretty quickly.
and
We just need to
notify
know
us.
when. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
notify everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the CRA is interested, council's interested, we'll
because
invite
that's,
everybody. We just have to publicly notice if more than one person from a voting group is at the same place at the same time. We just
Yeah.
have to let the public know. But that's something we can put together really quickly. We do it all the time. Put it
Yep.
on the website, put it
and it
on,
wouldn't interfere with Christmas, it'd be slap
yeah,
dab in between
yeah. And we
Thanksgiving
Right,
and
then you put it
Christmas.
right in with the program,
Yeah, I was-
maybe during deck the
I
chairs,
was gonna
one of
say,
those nights that they're doing awards
Yeah.
or.
We'll coordinate with Deck the Chairs if
Yeah,
possible to
Bingo.
make it,
Yeah.
I
An
mean,
event.
maybe it's a
I
last
mean,
minute,
we are
but
happy to work with Curtis too on schedule, and if there's a night that he's like, hey, absolutely do not do anything,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
we don't wanna step on his toes.
yeah, we have
That's
that
his
Yeah.
schedule special.
so.
Right, right.
Along with the dance programs or something maybe, I'll ask them about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, just know
There
it'll be
you
last
go.
minute.
I'll be there tomorrow all day, I'll be there until we're done,
it'll be festive.
Yeah.
hopefully weather gets better though. got two together.
Too much?
Right. No, something.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll,
We're in the midst.
Inside
Yeah,
stuff.
there's just a lot going on right now. We will, let you guys know when we have a closer known completion date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might
I like
be-
that
It's
idea.
probably a little scramble on our end to make it
Like,
happen.
just like it was our
Well,
first with,
I mean,
We missed that opportunity. This is a little easier because it is
if the
kind of
weatherman
a
got
blow
wrong, and the weather turns out to be horrible, I just said got wrong, my gosh, that was horrible English, I apologize. But if the weatherman had it wrong, and we end up with awful weather for 3 days in a row
Right.
like we had, then that's
Right.
gonna
We just
shift.
don't know how
and-
long, yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll
Yeah.
do our best to kind of get ahead of that, and
Yeah.
just like a business
People talk to
opening,
them for 3
sometimes
hours
they
one
announce a
day.
date and it's usually weeks later, or sometimes
Yeah.
it's earlier, and it's always very last minute.
I'll add that to Jacob's list.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to buy him some Starbucks,
I already did twice.
bribe him. So yeah, we'll plan for that.
We have no idea.
So, and we'll coordinate with Deck the Chairs as well, so.
We have a fun team.
But yeah, we can do something, for sure.
I mean, even, you know, the one, which I know was a little bit easier because it was a little structure, but the thing we did, like even at the playground, it was very casual, it was very laid back, it wasn't anything super formal, but it was still an acknowledgement of the hard work, we acknowledged the team that did it,
Mhm.
the, you know,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
We'll plan for it,
I'm on it.
date pending.
Mm-hmm.
well, in a way, that kind of sets a precedent for doing it on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would like to do it for any big kind of
Yeah.
reveal that we're doing, like we did for the playground.
I would like to get Christian Stanley back here too with a mural. He's great. Just a side note.
Have we gotten comments on his piece?
Yeah,
loves
actually,
it.
remember, I sent you a screenshot the other day. There is a travel, let me find it. There's a guy that travels and he, requires ADA accessible spaces. And that's his whole shtick. He has this blog, it's called Curb Free with Corey Lee.
With a C, curb.
Curb, yeah, like literally like a curb, like the wheelchair couldn't get over. And he spent like a whole week in Duval County, so like all of Jacksonville, all of the beaches, and the photo he chose to feature in his blog was ours.
There you
Yay.
have it.
We're so excited.
That is
He
so
talked
exciting.
about, we had delicious food-friendly people, beautiful beaches. I have fallen in love with this destination, can't wait to return if you haven't visited yet. Like, I promise you, you'll love it no matter your abilities, and like talked about checking out like the awesome art. So even still, we're getting a lot of really positive feedback. And then I did a session at the FRA conference. It was a record year. It had the most attendees that the FRA conference has had down at Sawgrass. And we had a session on public art. And our session was in a room that held like 80 people, and every chair was full. And we got a lot of really great feedback on our program. And I have since gotten probably, I'm not exaggerating, 11 phone calls and emails on, okay, how did you set this up, and where in the statute does it say what, and okay, help walk me through this. And then we've done 2 mobile tours of our downtown, and the last stop on our tour is always that mural and explaining how we got to that, you know, process. And we've actually now been recruited to do a 3rd mobile tour the 2nd week of December for another organization. And people are really loving what we're doing, so
Awesome.
it's working.
We're
We're getting the feedback we had hoped we would get. But we want to keep growing it. Like, we've got this positive momentum, we want to
Ride.
keep, yeah, we gotta ride the wave.
People ask me all the
So,
time.
but yeah, it's been good.
Good.
Well, I've got homework.
What else? Anyone else? Comments, questions? New business? Anything?
I think so. Trying to think of any major projects we have going on that are just interesting, but they're all interesting, but there's just a lot going on. Yeah, we're good. I'm ready for a little bit of a break next week.
Yeah.
I do have a question through the chair, if I could. When we schedule with Mr. Xavier to talk internally, I would like for Anita to be involved in that as a representative from you guys, if you're available and willing, because it sounds like you've got some experience with this type of stuff. Would you be open to that, and would you guys be comfortable kind of her
Pointing
and like the
out,
designee to chat with him, because this is new to us.
Yeah, we're winging it.
We're good at the public meetings, we do those all the time, but supporting him with his meeting with the public,
Yeah.
that's, I think, where you've got some experience that I think will come in handy to us. So if you're okay with that, and you guys are okay with that,
Sure.
that would be my ask
Yeah.
as staff from you guys. Okay, thank you.
And helping coordinate maybe this unveiling, if we need some extra,
Yeah.
some extra brain power, I might call
We
it.
can throw kids parties really well, but, or
Keep
Halloween
us,
parties.
keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys in the loop with just kind of what's
Yeah.
going on with that.
Did you say Halloween party?
Yeah, we did.
I won my neighborhood's Halloween decorating contest. It's
Uh,
my claim to fame now. I'm very happy.
Now the pressure's on for next year.
She's a neighborhood celebrity.
They call me the Scream Queen.
Wow.
It's an honor.
We're learning new things.
I'm getting a visual right now.
Oh, it was epic. Heather saw all the
It's
videos.
impressive.
Okay.
It's my thing. Anyway,
That's all I have.
yeah.
Anything else?
Sir.